morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Are you there? Come on in. Have a seat. Come on in and have a seat. You out there in the hall. Get in here. We see you staring. Don't be afraid. We've got chairs in the front. Come on in. You can do it. I know you're out there. We have guests already. A guest already. We are here to start the morning buzz, the breakfast buzz. Come on in. It's Thursday morning where we are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And we're glad you're on board. Welcome, everybody, from Indie Volt Radio. Our numbers climb all throughout the show, Ben. So,
okay, great. Wow.
I don't know if we have, did you ever get the counter, Rob?
No.
Up and working? No? Okay. So we're winging it. Varian might be here a little later, and then when he comes in, he'll tell us what the numbers are. We just know there are many, and we welcome all of you.
Great.
Come on in. Oh, yeah, it's been crazy ever since this bug. Our numbers have been climbing up through the roof internationally. We're on an international, we're on an international alternative music station, Indie Volt Radio, indievolt.com, as well as YouTube and Facebook and all over the place. And if you're out there on YouTube land, please like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. So we are here for the breakfast buzz. It's Thursday morning. We have a guest in the house already, and there will be a lot more coming. So hang in there. We're going to run the opening, and then we will be underway. Oh, this isn't the opening. Wait a minute. I think this is. It's that time for the buzz, indievolt.com. Come on in, everybody. There's still a little bit of coffee left in the back there, in the back hall there. I don't know how many cups are left, but come on in. Come on in. Marv is in the house already. Marv, welcome. I'm here. Buddy, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Emily. Emily's Lasco Comics and Art. Good morning, Emily. You know you are always welcome on the show, just like Marv is, but we know that Marv's in the middle of his lunch break. So, he's over in Portugal. Aaron Marshall. Good morning, Aaron. How are you? Hope everything's well. I'm going to stop pouring the coffee here so that you can see our beautiful faces made for radio. Hang on. There we are. Good morning, everybody. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I have been doing alternative and independent comics for a long, long time. Done just about everything in the business that you can imagine, including retailing, distributing, editing, editor-in-chiefing. I've printed under the Arrow Comics, the Massive Comics, the Weeby Comics brands. The last two you might never have heard of, but I printed under, believe me. Been doing this for a long time, and now we are podcasting, part of the Indie Volt radio network. So, and along with me today, my co-host is Mr. Rob Anderson. Rob, how you doing? Introduce yourself.
How you guys doing? I'm a comic book creator, advocate for creators, and at times I'm a controversy creator. And when you take screenshots of me or use me in a video, always get my good side, please. The good side, not the bad side, but the good side. Thank you.
I thought you had no bad sides.
That's not what some people say. Put it on.
Along with us today is Ben. Ben,
hello. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, thanks for coming on, Ben. You do a book called Shark of War.
Yeah. It's you can see it at sharkofwar.bitingcomics.com.
We all know it's early. Is it early in the morning where you are, Ben?
I've been up for a while actually, but I sometimes stumble over my words anyway. The simple description is it's Jaws meets RoboCop.
Look at that. There's a Kickstarter rolling.
Oh yeah. It's my little video clip opening. You can play it. I'll
quite honestly, we don't know why this campaign's underfunded, because everybody loves sharks with jets.
Yeah, I thought it would be a lot of excitement. I think I don't have enough bandwidth to get the word out, so I'm hoping you guys can help me and show it around a little bit, because I think it's a lot of fun. In fact, I just got a good review from Monkeys Fighting Robots magazine online, yesterday that I was excited about. So I'm hoping that helps too.
This is probably right up their alley.
Oh yeah, they were very nice. They put it on their front cover, gave me a review, a nice review, and everything else.
Marv wants to join in. Marv, you're at home today. That's awesome. You're always more than welcome, my friend. I will send you a chat in the on your Facebook. So let me find that here. That might take a minute, but keep talking, Ben. Keep telling us about
sure.
Shark of War.
Yeah, essentially, it's very much the shark has been. And when in issue 1, this is issue 2. I'm actually funding both of them. Issue 1 is done and printed. Issue 2 is all done, but I'm not printed it yet. But basically, in issue 1, the U.S. Navy finds a huge great white shark that's been injured. They take it to a research facility where they're modifying sharks for military purposes, trying to use sea life in military missions. And they operate on him. They upgrade his intelligence. They put controllers on him. They load him up with weapons. And he, through one way or another, escapes. And based on his programming that they've pre-programmed in him, he's taken it upon himself to be the law of the sea. So he starts attacking any criminal activity he sees. Kind of like a shark punisher. So by issue 2, the mob is fed up with him, and they hire one of his creators to figure out a way to kill him. And what she comes up with is a swarm of piranha who've been modified like him. So issue 2 starts off, and he has to deal with the consequences of that. And that's the main battle is. Climactic battle is him versus this swarm of piranha, which leads to a cliffhanger for what will be issue 3, hopefully in another 3 or 4 months as I write and draw it. Well, I've already written it. I just have to draw it.
Cool.
And I'm an engineer by background, so each issue also at the end has a feature on the science behind it. Because I've tried to make the sci-fi have some scientific background, like explaining how what he eats, the human bodies he eats, gets converted into fuel for his jet engines as he goes along. And there's some real science behind some of that, which I explained for the really scientific nerdy person who likes to hear that kind of stuff. That's one of my backup features. The other is how I do the artwork for it. For those who are interested, obviously it's a combination of digitally drawn and computer 3D modeling that I use to make the art, which I know is not always in some people's taste, but in fact, I heard Rob say something about it yesterday, but I think it.
Yeah, I don't like the art. I like what Ben's passion with the project. I like the sense of humor in it, and I'm hoping to see Ben to have an artist approach him in the near future who wants to draw this. So I think an artist would have a lot of fun with this book. I mean, you see it like whenever you see someone make a shark, they play with the teeth, the looks on their faces, because there's only so much we can do with CG now. And I know a lot of artist friends who just aren't happy with people using CG, to be honest with you. I got people who give lectures. How would you like it if a computer wrote a story? I'm like, well, if they could do a better job than me, I'd read it.
Well, if a computer writes a masterpiece, people are gonna like the masterpiece. My art is, I think it's functional for the story. And like I said, the review I got yesterday, I actually thought that the art fit the story pretty well, which was a pleasing compliment because it compared it to different computer animated shows and thought it worked well for the story. I know that it's not to everybody's taste. I try and do a fair amount of redrawing to get some more so it doesn't have that real lifelike artificial look that you see in a lot of CGI comic books when they come out. I try to give it a more natural feel. And yeah, I see you're scrolling down to where I show all the little thumbnails. So yeah, the book is complete. So all I have to do is print the second one, and everybody who wants it, there's a link in there to read the first one for free, because I think people who read it will like it. And so far, if I can get people to read it, I think they like it. So I'm pretty sure they'll want the second one, because the first one ends on a big cliffhanger.
Well, I don't mean this as an insult at all, but when I first saw your artwork, it really reminded me of Robot Chicken. And I love Robot Chicken.
Oh, I like that show too. Especially their superhero spoofs. I think they do some great work on superhero type stuff.
So now I have to ask, what are his bullets made of?
They're metal pellets, and the jet engines. He doesn't have to use gunpowder. He uses metal pellets and the high pressure in the jet engine.
Oh, okay.
Uses the exhaust from that to blast them out. But when the story opens, issue 1 opens, he's very low on ammo because he doesn't have any way to. He's escaped the military. He doesn't have any way to reload, so he's about to run out.
Oh, things about to get serious.
Yeah,
I thought maybe he found a way to make it by digesting.
No.
Who would it be if there were bone bullets?
No, he's not done that. He's kind of been on his own and doesn't. He doesn't have opposable thumbs and stuff like that, so he can make something himself. So he at this point he's been a little bit of a loner. He is gonna get some backup at some point, so hopefully he'll get reloaded.
I'm just throwing this out here. A chimp that goes underwater that helps him. Chimp was at the same facility as him, broke out, and is now helping him in redesigning. He's a mad scientist.
That's
one
an
of those
interesting idea.
Fishbowl helmets and an overly developed brain. Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's a thing now.
reminds me of those old Silver Age DC comics where you had the character with the larger brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you been watching Umbrella Academy at all with the
Fishbowl?
The fishbowl, the goldfish in a fishbowl who's like the head of the Time Travel Institute or whatever they're supposed to be. That's kind of
no, the wife has watched the first season though and says I have to watch it. So
I actually like the second season better. The first season I thought everybody was kind of, the plot didn't make total sense, but the second season I thought was a big upgrade. So if you're interested and willing to watch through the first season, I think you'll like the second season more.
Yeah, gotcha. It takes you a while for shows like that to get their legs and figure out where they're going. Let's see. Good morning. Trico's in the house. Good morning, Professor. Hope everything's going well. Marv says I'm at home. Can you join your guys? Of course you can, Marv. Here you are. All the way from across the pond at Portugal. Marv, how you doing, Marv? Marvy, I should say. Marvy. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Great.
It's been a blast this week. I've done tons of work for my comic, and I'm very happy about it. Thanks.
Yeah, you've been showing a bit of that off on Facebook, and it's looking awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
You're welcome.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited about everything. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. We'll talk about it here in a second. We're talking about sharks right now.
Yeah, my favorite animal, sharks. Crocodile Crocarius, the big white, like in Jaws. Since I saw Jaws, sharks are my favorite animals.
I think that's the same for just about everybody.
Yeah.
Aaron says he's great. Just waking up, looking forward to today's conversation. Thanks, Aaron. Daphne says good morning. Aaron says this looks really cool. Pitch it to the Discovery Channel during Shark Week. There you go, Ben.
I keep hoping to get, I did a big promo during during Shark Week where I was raffling off shark-related comic books and toys and stuff like that to build up my list. People keep telling me I should go to Sci-Fi Channel, but
yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
It's probably better than I'm sure it's better than the majority of their current programming. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I every now and then people compare it to Sharknado, and I'm like, I'm trying to do
nothing
than that. Come on, come on. I know you're complimenting me, but in a way you're not.
It's just because they both have sharks. That's all.
Yeah, that's why I really like the RoboCop comparison better, because
there you go.
It's basically, it's got the dark satire of the first RoboCop movie, which is the only good one in my opinion.
Yeah.
And kind of has a similar plot thread, except it's a shark getting modified, sent out to do good.
All right. Yeah, I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
Aaron says the art is cool. No matter what you do, there will always be someone who doesn't like it. And Daphne Lage says using Poser to make comics is not the computer doing all the work. It's still quite an effort.
Though I actually use Daz 3D more than not Poser.
She also says, I wish the computer could do all the work for me. I'd get more comics done.
Yeah, that would be great, because I could, if all I had to do was write and the computer just spit out all the images based on my descriptions, I'd be in issue 8 or 9 right now, not issue 2.
We'd all be well ahead, and some folks would be out of work. So, Luke Stone says, "Good morning, good morning, Luke. Hope everything's okay there in Terraform Comics land. Terraform Comics. Luke currently has a book on Indiegogo, or a campaign on Indiegogo, collecting all of his Hybrids comics. You should go over there and look. It's called The Hybrids. Well worth your time to check out that campaign." Daphne Lage says, good to see a face to the name, Marv. Daphne might be joining us here in a minute.
Great.
And John Celestri, John the Animator, says, good morning. John the Animator, also on Indiegogo. It's well worth your time checking out. John's got a long history in animation and is now doing children, or no, I can't really say children's graphics novels, more all ages graphic novels. His campaign's currently running. Go ahead.
He was on the same show as me on Monday. We both did Pete from Alterna's YouTube show. He was on just before me.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, Pete's a great guy. I've been on there. I was on there once. I told him he needs an assistant really bad because he keeps doing everything.
He looked his artwork looked very neat.
John's, John's amazing. Yeah. And he popped on one of our shows. We put out an open link, and he just popped in one day and says, "Hi, I'm John Celestri," and we started talking. And then he has
someone there now. He had somebody there to take the link names while he was doing the talking. So
Pete did good. Yeah, he needs an assistant with Alterna. He's been doing everything on his own this whole time. And Alterna's becoming a really bigger publisher, and
yeah,
I told him if he didn't pick somebody up soon, he'd drop from exhaustion. Just seeing how much work that he's been doing. But yeah, when John was on, like I said, he kept telling us what he's done, and our eyes just kept getting bigger and bigger, and we're like, really? Oh my, really? Holy crap! So yeah, John's got quite a history in animation, and it's really appreciated from folks that are, us older folks that grew up on a lot of his work. So anyway, let's get back to the Shark of War here.
And Ben, you're on a program this evening, aren't you? Ben?
Are you there, Ben? I thought he was lagging a little bit. Ben, are you there? Give us a thumbs up.
I think the shark of the internet has taken Ben from us.
I think so.
Ben, if you... Yeah, it happened. We're going to go to Marv for a few minutes. If you can join us back in, by all means. And if Ben can't come in, he'll be on tonight with Geek Insider with their Geek Speak. It's at 9 p.m. here on Indie Volt.
Ben, you're choppy. We can't hear you, so you're going to have to reboot. Go out and come back in.
And we're going to drop that link for everyone right now for the Shark of War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello?
Looks great.
There he is.
I think I'm on a big lag.
There you are.
Up now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I think he's seriously lagging.
Yeah.
I think he just caught my note telling him to reboot and come back in. Marv, how you doing? Marv?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good.
Great.
See some old Marvel on your wall back behind you.
Yeah. One of my inspirations. Yeah, Yeah, we have a John Byrne, we have a Kirby, we have a Cockrum, we have a bunch of those great artists back from the 70s and 80s. That what I love about Marvel and DC.
Yeah, the classics.
The rest is after 98, 99, 2000s. I just forgot about Marvel and DC.
So did a lot of other people. Yeah, you're not alone there. So a lot of folks dropped out during that period. Variant's in the house, but he's not. He's staying back in the green room to move some boxes. He says he's tired from lifting boxes all morning. Probably those Liberty distributor boxes. I know he had to go out and order more, I think he told me. Joe Cotton says, stand by for technical difficulties and Davy Crockett. Yes, absolutely. Ben's back in the green room. Shall we try to pull him back up again?
Yep.
Hey.
Ben.
Hello again. Yeah, for some reason I seem to lose these StreamYard feeds after about 10 or 15 minutes. My phone decides, you've had enough time. Get out.
Your phone's only got so much memory and RAM, so it starts lagging, and then you get way behind.
Yeah, that's definitely describing my phone. I guess I'm gonna have to upgrade at some point soon.
Marv looks like he's frozen now too. No, there you are. Nope. There you are. Okay. So anyway, where can we find Shark of War?
Sharkofwar.bitingcomics.com is the Kickstarter. And if you just want to check out the comic book for free, go to bitingcomics.com and you get issue 1 all for free. The whole digital deluxe edition, the full 28-page of the comic, and both my backup features and some extra art and other things. I'm giving it away because I think people who read issue 1 will like it enough that they'll want issue 2.
Gotcha.
And of course on the Kickstarter, I'm offering hard copies of both issue 1 and 2. My Shark of War face mask, which I think a lot of people have liked when they've seen me wearing it out on the street, and my aunt wearing it out on the street because I got her one too. Keychains, stickers, pins, the other, the smorgasbord of other stuff.
So is that a mask? Is that a mask that goes over your head, or is that like a paper mask that goes in front of your face?
No, it's a cloth face mask. It's a 2-layer cloth face mask.
Gotcha. Okay.
With the basically the shark teeth printed on it. I think if you go on the Kickstarter page, I have a picture of myself with it, with 2 somewhat famous people also wearing it. That you may or may not recognize and may or may not have strong opinions about, but nevertheless, there they are.
All right, Aaron Marshall says, Ben, you are awesome. I love your passion. I'm going to your website right now to download the first issue.
Awesome. I hope you enjoy it.
You enjoy Sharks with Jets. And who doesn't? You need to go. What else is coming up? Shark of War 2? You have a campaign right now for Shark of War 2, right?
Yeah, it's 1 and 2. I mean, I've listed it as 1 and 2, so you can get both books. And there's variant covers as well. I've done each book. I do a Jaws parody cover, and I do one other cover. This time I did a cover with the villainess and doing like I say, normally I try to make the 3D artwork more comic booky, but for this one I went all the way in on I-ray render and tried to make it look more photorealistic. I think it makes the piranha look really creepy in that cover image. Issue 3 I'm hoping to start in on soon, and my process is 3 or 4 months. I wish I was like a Marvel comic and I crank it out monthly, but hopefully early next year I'll be back here and for issue 3. My first season arc is intended to be 5 issues. If all goes well, there'll be a season 2 arc of another 5 or 6 issues.
Cool.
Now, I do want to say, Randy knows this. The popular thing to go around is to throw shade on people, right? That's what the cool kids are doing. So I'm going to do something uncool. I'm going to put some sunlight on Ben. I've talked to Ben in the background, and I'm not going to go into it. But Ben has some amazing ideas that go beyond just humor. He has this way of looking at things in a unique way. And I'm telling you right now, Shark of War is not going to be the only thing he ever creates. He's going to come out. He's going to have a lot more titles out there. So if you're a new artist looking to team up with someone who's rising in the ranks, Ben's the guy. You know, get with him, create something great. Ben's just one of those guys. You can't fake the passion Ben has for creating these comics. Whether you like the art or not, the guy himself, the creator himself, is someone you can invest in.
Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it, Rob.
You're welcome, man. And that's what we're going to try to do on this show. Not just put shade.
I'm a little verklempt right now.
Well, that's what we need to rise up together. We all need to stick together. And when we see talent, we got to call it out. We're so good at pointing fingers, but we're not good at rising and helping people rise up. We got to lift people up. And that's what we do on this show. You know, we talk about the bad, but we want to bring on creators like you and give you the spotlight because this is something unique, fun, and it's a new take on something. I mean, the RoboCop shark, until that was said to me, I was like, it's just a shark. Got jetpack. What is this? The minute he said RoboCop shark, I was like, damn it. Now I'm interested. Damn him. Damn him for making me care about sharks. I don't like sharks. I saw Jaws and stopped going to the ocean. I was like, you can't get me up here.
Yeah.
That's a great pitch.
It's like nightmares. Freddy Krueger is the reason I no longer sleep. Okay, I'm just up all night. I live on coffee and caffeine. That's it. That's it.
I just thought that was called adulting.
Yeah, true.
Well, that's one of the hidden messages in the book. You know, the deeper meaning, because you have deeper meaning, is to try and make people care positively about sharks. Because in this book, I hope you will care about the shark and you'll be rooting for him. You know, unlike most of other shark-based shows where you're like, oh no, the shark is coming. Kill it. You know, so that's not that was the old school. That in modern times we have to be pro shark.
That's true.
Although Ben, I warn you, your next book's about snake and we're over. I do not like snakes. Me and Indiana Jones. Same thing. Shoot it, kill it, barbecue it. Don't get it near me. I can live with the shark because I can avoid the water. That's their territory. I'm good. I got water in the shower.
Until you meet land sharks.
Shh, do not start with me, Randy. It's too early in the morning.
Well, that's why I have the shark flying, so he can't be avoided.
There we go. That's what the jets are for. Good morning, everyone. Michael Oden says, good morning, Michael. Hope you are doing well.
Hi, Michael.
Thanks for listening.
What's going on, Mike? Do not make me not able to sleep anymore.
Joe D. McPhee says Ben Lacey is a great guy. We talk third art.
Oh, hey, Joe.
3D. I'm sorry, 3D art all the time.
Yeah, he's a 3D artist too, so he can argue with Rob on the merits of 3D.
Good morning, Joe. Thanks for listening. John again comes in and says there's room in comics for more than just muscles, boobs, and guns. Oh, John, we don't know what. No, wait. Yes, definitely. Definitely there is. But some
I heard boobs is all the rage.
I hear there's room for mooses too. So it's all good.
Yeah,
mega mooses. Go ahead, Ben. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, on Kickstarter you can definitely get your share of boobs if you want them. That does seem to be a popular topic.
We just want to say good morning to everyone out there in Radio Land, everyone that's listening, everyone that's watching us on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. This is Indie Volt Breakfast Buzz, Thursday morning, the 10th of September, 2020. Because, COVID. We appreciate you all. We're talking to Ben Lacey, right? Ben Lacey. I'm horrible with names, Ben. I'm sorry. But from Shark of War, who has a Kickstarter running right now for issues 1 and 2. Shark of War. You can find it on Kickstarter. Take a look.
Yes. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm bad too.
Okay.
The title is great. Shark of War. It's fantastic. It's a great title.
Trico says all I heard was boobs. Well, you obviously missed our opening, but that's okay. No, maybe not. Anyway,
Thank you.
It's all good.
Really appreciate you guys helping me out.
There you go. Yeah, we love it, Ben. You're welcome to stick around. You're lagging a little bit.
It was a pun on the phrase "man of war." So
you're on about a 1.5 lag, Ben. I think
the shark of the internet has.
Well, I do have a pretty girl in the comic book, but not much boobs.
What are you doing, man? Reevaluate your life. Give the shark boobs. You'll have $1 million campaign.
probably would.
Right? Like a shark.
Yeah, I know I'm lagging off. I'll probably have to drop off again.
Yeah.
I may listen, but
I'm writing that down, Rob. Shark with boobs.
The shark of boobs.
Lady Shark. I claimed it already.
Lady Shark. That's it. Trademark.
TM.
that actually kind of does not turn me on at all.
It might be fun. It might be fun just to have Ben around. Just so he's
find
got
that totally unattractive.
You
never know. You never know.
We could always start asking strange questions so that when he comes back lagging, it'd be hilarious.
Yes, just wrong. Ben, we love you. Thanks for being on today.
We do, Ben. We're going to have you back on real soon. So, and you're welcome to stick around, but you are lagging a bit.
Okay, so I'm going to drop out for now and then try to listen. Thank you.
All right, Ben. Thank you. Thanks again for coming on. Shark of War. Everybody should check out that Kickstarter.
Oh, I appreciate if they did. Please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Take care, Ben.
You too. Bye. Bye, guys.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye, man.
So, Sin Killer, how's it going?
Yeah, Sin Killer is doing great. I'm almost done for an anthology that I can't talk about right now, but it's doing great. I'm changing a couple of things. I have an idea this morning for the last panel for that anthology, and then I'm going to put that panel in the book because I really love the idea. And
cool.
Yeah, it's doing great. I'm very happy about how it's going. Let's see. Let's hope for the best.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Where did we leave off here? It's jumping. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for making us try to keep up. Comic Black Belt says, Marv, it's in the house.
Hi, Russ.
Meredith says, good morning, friends. Good morning, Meredith. Hope you're doing well.
Hello, Meredith.
Great backdrop, Marv. Everybody appreciates your backdrop. Daphne says, Shark and Moose boobs is my next funny furry sketchbook. There we go. Comic book Black Belt, do shark boobs require bikinis? Yes, they do, in order to be shown on Facebook. Comic book Black Belt.
Daphne could really do something with that shark.
I sent Daphne the link. She was welcome to come in, but we've had people pop in and out of the green room this morning quite a bit. I think they're tasting the Cheetos is what it is. They come in, they see the back refreshments, and they go, and then they run.
Now, if you give boobs to a shark, do you think everyone's just going to be like, look at that tail? Come on.
There's a pause for a reason. Welcome, everybody, Indie Volt Radio. We hope you're doing well. This is Randy Zimmerman doing the Breakfast Buzz along with Rob Anderson, and we have Marvi in the house all the way from Portugal.
Oh, yeah.
We should have a couple more guests here coming on any time now. When were you expecting the next ones? Anytime, Rob?
Anytime now. I think one of our people are having some computer issues.
Yeah.
They're trying to. The internet shark is out today, and it's vicious.
Yeah, he seems to be either that or
StreamYard.
Yes. Sorry, man. Not enough coffee. StreamYard is slow on the uptake today. Lady Shark, completely something completely different comes to mind. Meredith says hi, Marv. Meredith says hi, Daphne. I think I spend more time with the Indie Volt family more than my husband. LOL. That's what my wife is telling me that now too. You going down to talk with the girls?
It's for free comics. Western Mass Newsroom.
Sorry about that.
What was that?
There's a local comic book shop that's giving out free comics in exchange for food up in East Hampton. And I clicked on the link and it autoplayed because I thought it was interesting. It's comics and more. I thought that was pretty cool, doing a food drive for old comics, you know?
Yeah. Especially if it goes to the local food bank down there. I know you guys are still having a lot of problems.
I mean, anything that people are helping, I like to talk about, and I think it's cool. But these damn automatic, just suddenly playing videos really suck, especially when you're live.
Okay, I'm going to start seeding a few friends here. Marv, how are things over where you're at?
Well, we have a couple of issues now with the virus. We're gonna have a second wave. The government is about to shut down a lot of places in the 15th, and a lot of irresponsible attitudes lately. People don't care about anything anymore. They don't care about the others. They don't care about themselves. Everything is. They have this mentality about the virus won't hit me. So it's getting worse every single day. 640 cases yesterday, and it's going up and up every single day. It's turning really, really bad, really bad.
Is that a big truck that just went by?
Yeah.
Okay. Either that or a large plane. It's all good.
No, it was a truck.
Hey, in the chat, any questions for Marv? Anything going on? Talk to us. We're waiting for another guest to come on. We don't want dead air. We definitely don't. Here's another guest popping into the green room. She obviously didn't eat the Cheetos yet. Let's bring in Daphne. Daphne, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did somebody say shark boobs?
Yeah.
Shark and moose boobs.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's now a thing. It's just officially a thing. We need shark boobs.
Ben, thanks us for having him on. Listening is a lot less laggy. Yes, it is, Ben. Thank you. Actually, and now there's a lot of pregnant pauses included. And we need to point out that Daphne's bird does imitate a smoke detector quite often. So if you are listening and you hear a smoke detector sound just like that on cue, it's probably not your detector. It's Daphne's bird.
Now, Daphne, as someone with a crowdfunding right now about furry, exotic renderings, would the shark have a set of boobs, or could they have two sets of boobs?
Well, the ones that I usually see have a set of boobs. You know, it's when it comes to like dolphins and shark furries, they're very interesting takes on how people try to get that to work.
Aaron says, "Yay, Daphne! She's awesome."
Yay!
As compared to the rest of us. There we are. Daphne, why don't you introduce yourself to the radio audience?
Hi, my name is Daphne Lage, and I am the artist of the funny animal fantasy comic Tall Tales, also written by J.D. Calderon. The series spans more than 20 issues, and you can check out my work online at talltalesonline.com. That's Tales, Tails, online.com, and my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage Art.
Awesome. And you also have currently have a Kickstarter rolling. Yes.
This is for an adult furry sketchbook that I have. It's obviously separate from Tall Tales, although much to other people's chagrin. But the two are separate. And so far it's like I have I think 21 days left on it.
And where can they find that at?
Oh, well, if you go to talltalesonline.com, I have a link in the I guess in the blog portion beneath the comic. I try to use the Tall Tales Online as a hub for everything since I'm sending everybody there. So everything is there, including all my social media and everything. But yeah, but just so everybody knows that the Tall Tales comic is 13 and up. The sketchbook on Kickstarter is 18 and up.
Okay. And also at talltales.com, you have the first 20 issues of Tall Tales available digitally for free.
Yes.
So that you can read the story, catch up on the story, probably more than just a couple of stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a bunch. There's like a couple of different, not exactly story arcs, but just different size stories too. And then it's like I'm currently working on the new story arc that continues directly from those 20 issues right now, except those right now is a Patreon exclusive until the books are finished and end up on Kickstarter.
Awesome. And you showed me a collected volume one time of your work. And yeah, there you go. And it's like 2 inches thick. You've been doing over 1,000 pages, you said?
Yeah. That's just like the main story and a couple of other issues. It's like that's not counting all the stuff that's still in production right now.
Yeah, amazing. Ben Lacey says comes back and says shark boobs is the least attractive thing I can imagine.
Yeah, it's a thing. You have to kind of be into it.
I'm sure there might be worse things out there, but now,
I would agree to that. Yeah.
Aaron says adult furry, ooh la la.
Very, very. I try to have something for everybody.
And you've been doing. How often does Tall Tales come out?
Well, right now I'm kind of averaging like 2 issues a year. I mean, it's like that's just what it is, So I'm hoping to I have the issue 6 out of an 8-issue series story arc already penciled out. Now I just have to like put them on board and start inking them. Oh, actually, no. I have them on board. I just have to start inking them, and I'm hoping that maybe by either February or March to have it ready for Kickstarter.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, and also the things I'm waiting. There's another case. I have another comic that I'm working on that I'm finally going to put the first issue out in January. I'm just waiting for Kickstarter to approve the campaign so I can have my pre-launch page up. So I get to see whether a 3-month lead-in into a Kickstarter actually does something.
So they have to approve a pre-launch?
Well, yeah, I finished. So this new book that I'm working on is a more like a young adult fantasy called Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. And right now I've been sending out advanced reader copies to get kind of some pull quotes and a little reviews for it. And I have the campaign set up. It's ready. I mean, technically I can launch it tomorrow, but I really want to kind of to build it up first. I still have some work on it to do. And that one is going to launch January 4th. And like I said, I'm just waiting for Kickstarter to approve the campaign so that I'll have a pre-launch page so everyone can sign up for it. So that when it actually goes live, everybody gets notified.
Sweet. Good.
Yeah. So that's why it takes me so long to do one series, because I pretty much have like other comics in the wings as well. We're trying to work on them at the same time.
I know.
That's why when people say it's like, oh, the computer does all the work, and I'm like, I wish.
So what is your typical working schedule like?
Well, it's like I'm not as organized as I should be for some. I mean, it's like
nobody ever is.
Right. Yeah. So
Marv can attest to that, right, Marv?
Yeah.
There we go.
So it's like today is more like an admin day, like scanning in artwork, getting files done. I'm going to be working on a sketch cover, trying to build up that back stock. I have to start like editing files again for JD's books, The Oswald Chronicles, because he has I think I think he has a Kickstarter. I keep confusing between Kickstarter and Indiegogo. He always has either one or the other. So
I believe his is an Indiegogo under the Oswald Chronicles.
Yeah, so he's finishing that up, and I have to update the files because he made some changes to it. So I got to update that, and it's kind of all over the place.
Now, do you schedule yourself throughout the week? Like on Monday, you figure out what you're going to do for every day of the week, or do you just take it day by day?
I take it day by day. It really depends on, I guess, like how I'm functioning at that moment.
How well you're functioning? Or
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So it's like there are some days where it's like I actually make a list. And it's like, okay, I got to get this done, this done, this done. To tell you the truth, when I make the list, I'm a little bit more efficient at it. It's just that I haven't made a list in a bit. So now it's like I'm a little haphazard. So I got to get back to making my list. And then it's like, yeah, but usually I just go day by day. Because if I plan too much stuff ahead of time, I find myself planning too much and then not finishing, and then like, oh, now I'm behind, when really what it just was that I just planned to do too much in a week that wasn't feasible. So if I do it day by day, I kind of know what I can get done in a day. So it's like, okay, so I can, so it's like I'm more on schedule with doing it day by day, because it's like, the last thing I need to do is just overwhelm myself, because then what happens, I end up with decision paralysis, and then I'm just sitting for hours staring at a wall.
Really? Okay. Yeah. With me, whenever I plan, like a commercial job comes in and I say, oh, that'll take a day, it always takes 2.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Always.
It's like whenever you're getting something fixed in the house and the contractor says, oh, this will take a week, it's actually 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You're a full-time artist, Daphne?
Yes. This is my domain. It's like I work from home. I was fortunate enough to set myself up so that I don't have to work a standard 9 to 5. So it gives me a lot more time to confuse myself.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. That's great.
It's it took me a while to plan that out. Just to be able to do that, it took me about 10 years of planning before I was able to make the leap. So, it's not an easy decision to make and do.
How you made it? How you made that decision?
Well, personally, it was a combination of things that my parents did already, which is, i.e., own a house. So rent was not an issue for me. And then combined with playing around with personal finance, like 401ks and mutual funds, to kind of like set myself up a cushion so that when I finally left my job, I didn't have to depend on a job. But I mean, yeah, it's it's like I kind of want to put it out there that it's like I have a base that was technically set up by somebody else so that I could make the further decisions that I did to be able to do this. I mean, I think like too many artists, they kind of go, oh yeah, just quit your job and the rest will come. And it's like, no, that's not how that works.
Not all the time. Yeah, I was like Wile E. Coyote. I ran off that cliff. And I said, we're going to have to make this work.
Right.
What happened is I was in an apparel business with 2 other with 2 other I don't know. I have derivative words for them, but I'm not going to use it. But with 2 other partners, they decided to stop the business, but I still had the art side of it. I ran the art side of the business. I kept that client list and went out and bought my own material off a credit card, which you should never do. You should never do.
Exactly.
But for me, it turned out to be a great thing because I ended up paying off my equipment like within weeks of once I did that. And then I've been running ever since. I try to pare down the apparel business. I still have a half a dozen clients that I service on a very regular basis, but and do more illustration work. Right. And luckily, it's gotten to be more illustration than apparel work now. So, but that was a good opportunity. Plus, I have a spouse with a real steady job and the benefits of health insurance and that kind of thing. So.
Right. Yeah. Because JD still works. Because he hires a lot of artists. So for him, that's more where the extra income is for is to be able to afford all his artists.
Now, when he started the Oswald Chronicles, did he say, I need to do this on my own? Because I know the two of you have been working on Tall Tales, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like we started the Oswald Chronicles when we started doing that. He first started doing it as short stories, prose short stories that me and another friend, Matthew Lunsford, we would do supply illustrations for. But the more ambitious he became with the project, it became larger than what we could supply. So he had to look for outside artists in order to continue what he wanted to plan for the work. And unfortunately that requires him to also continue working in order to afford that, while also building up the Kickstarters and it's always a money flow issue in the end. It's like if there's one obstacle in making comics is being able to constantly afford the rotating costs of doing that.
Because it really, the funds, when you do that, is kind of a stop start. Sometimes the money comes in large chunks.
Yeah.
So you really have to be able to budget. You have to be able to float between the times when you're not getting that insert. With my job, I've got a couple of clients that I always can depend on every year that pay incredibly large chunks, so that I can work on my own stuff in between.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, so every time he does a Kickstarter or all our like even the sketchbook Kickstarter that I'm doing, I mean, the money that I use that I'm going, it's like, of course I'm going to use it to pay to print the books and to ship it out and whatnot. But everything after just goes back to allowing me to continue doing my comics. So it's all related. It's not like, oh, I'm just doing sketchbooks, I'm just doing comics. Like, no, they all mesh together to allow me to do all this work. That means something to me, as opposed to doing work, like working a 9 to 5, where they're taking away time that I would be putting into working on comics.
And I found during the commercial work, when I'm doing especially very mundane commercial work, that's when I start getting the most creative. So I have to grab notebooks and start jotting down notes. This works. This will be great. This will be great. Yeah.
I mean, it's just making the best of what you need to do in the end.
Sure.
Like, that's pretty much. I mean, that's self-publishing for you. It's like we got to think fast on our feet, but there are just some days where it's like, well, we got to also do what we got to do too.
Yeah, I'm always, when I'm working, I'm always with my mind on everything comic book related. So I'm working and I'm thinking about the comic, and unfortunately I can't put anything on paper in that schedule from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. But afterwards, after that, but I'm always.
Professor Trico wants to know, what about werewolf boobs asking for variants?
Werewolf boobs are always welcome.
Varian is afraid of werewolves.
Well,
I love them.
Yeah.
Glenn says, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. We just had I was just remembering we were having an interesting conversation on Geekasm about it last night.
About werewolves?
No. Yeah, about werewolves. Yes.
Step to that show.
Yeah.
Yes. Glenn says, great to hear your voices again.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Fright Owl Radio Theater says, hello. Sorry I'm late.
You're not late. You came in exactly the time you needed to come in.
You're welcome here whenever, Fright Owl. And also our programs are all archived over on our Indie Volt YouTube channel. So if you did miss some of the show, you can always go back later and catch up. So always welcome to do that. And while you're over there on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and hit that bell for notifications, because and if you haven't listened to Indie Volt before or caught one of our streams, we're on all through the week. And towards the end of the broadcast, we will tell you the definite times that we're on, but we also pop on and off depending upon the news, or whenever Varian gets particularly angry about something, he might pop on for an hour or so just to rant a little bit out into the public. Comic Book Black Belt says supportive family is a must. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because it's like I said, it's like, wait, I don't know. People look at what we're doing and they think it's magic, and no, it's unfortunately it's not.
But it is a kind of magic.
Well, but it's a collaborative magic.
People sit there in awe sometimes and go, "Wow, you did this so fast!" It's like, no,
yeah, right, yeah. They didn't see the 2 months before.
Yeah. Work and skill, and especially here in the States, they're so used to seeing comics churned out every month, not realizing that there is such a long, just like seeing cars manufactured in an assembly line, there's a long assembly line of people that work on that book in order to get it into the hands every month, and everybody has to work right. It has to become a well-oiled machine. And even with the larger companies, it takes them a year to a year and a half in order to get a product from conception to the stands.
I remember during one of the comic controversies, I think it was the Hail Hydra Captain America.
Pick one, spin the wheel.
But this one in particular. And and then it's like, if you were in comics long enough, you knew the next issue was going to flip that. It's like, oh no, it was all an alternative thing. And the funny thing is that when that second issue came out and pretty much did that, because comics, especially mainstream comics, is very cyclical. People, there were like people going, oh, they changed it because of the controversy. And it's like, oh my goodness, you have no idea how comics is made, don't you? It's like there are literally people who thought that, it's like an entire issue was changed in a week because of how the internet was acting.
You can see him sending out that emergency email. We have to turn it around.
Right. Yeah. That is not how that works at all.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. It's like they don't understand. It's like how far in advance these books are made. I mean, like even regular books. Like just recently, there was a review for a novel, where someone was complaining that the book was set in 2020, but oh my God, how irresponsible! They're not talking about COVID at all. This is an irresponsible of the author. And it's like, meanwhile, it's like, honey, the book was probably written in 2018. It's like
edited in 2019, manufactured early in 2020. Boom,
so it's like, that's how this is how long the tail is in what we do.
Everything takes time. Everything takes time. Marv, how long have you been working on Sin Killer?
A year, almost a year.
There we go.
September.
And is that like is that a graphic novel year or like multiple issues year?
I thought of making a graphic novel, but then I have some issues with the timing and how much I can spend my time with the comics. So I decided to make three issues. So the first issue is about the story of the Sin Killer killing his victim and why. The second will be about the two animals that live with him. He lives with a raven, a dead raven and a dead Doberman. Gabriel is the raven. He was killed by some farmers. And Michael is a Doberman who was a fighting dog and escaped from being killed, because when you lose a fight, you are automatically killed. And so he ran away. He was able to run away. And John Paris, the Sin Killer, found him in the graveyard and resurrected him to be his partner, because he knew about his history, because he is able to connect with people, with dead people and dead animals, and see their pain and what they lived. So he brought them back, and he took care of him. Nobody else cared about the raven and the dog. So he embraced them, and they became a family. So they hunt bad guys, and they try to make justice for those who don't have justice, those who John attend to their funerals, and he knows what happened, and if somebody needs to be avenged, so he tells Michael and Gabriel to hunt the bad guys, and then he punished them.
That's awesome.
So I try. Thank you. I try to make this a three issue miniseries, and then the third, I'm thinking about making the story of John when he was abandoned in church and raised by priests, and then he became a priest. He went to the Vietnam War, and he knew about his potential, about his powers. He knew about it, but he didn't want to express, to manifest his powers. So he kept everything inside. But when his squad was killed in Vietnam, he unleashed his power, and this power was so great that he thought that men can't have that kind of power. So when he found Gabriel and Michael, he knew that they were the right beings, the right creatures to have the power that he have. So that's the story that I want to show the world, but it's taking too much time.
Well,
no, it always seems to be taking too much time.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yep. You got to do it until it's done. You know?
Yeah. Let's hope for the best. Okay.
Linda says hi from Portugal.
Hello.
Yeah, my wife. Yes, my wife.
She must be in the other room. I was going to say.
Yeah,
hello,
she's
Linda.
in the kitchen. She's
Awesome.
in the kitchen. Yeah. She's watching the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah. Ben chimes in, says the first issue of Shark of War was probably 8 months.
Yeah.
Got the second down to 4 months, hoping to get issue 3 closer to 3 months, but I could never do much better than that, even if it were a full-time job.
Yeah, that's true, because it's like, in the end, it's like, even under the best circumstances, we have our limitations. That's that's what it is. Like, sometimes the layout phase takes way too much thought power, and so it ends up taking a lot longer than what you think it should. And then it's like, then the inking sometimes, like, it's like sometimes things just take as long as they are, no matter how optimum you try to make the environment and your schedule and everything. So
and you go back and you look at like some of the works that Marvel and DC did during the Silver and Bronze Age work, where they were telling self-contained stories inside of a 22-page frame every month, and how even though it was down to an assembly line, these artists, these writers were on the top of their game, especially working at Marvel, when all Stan did was get a rough outline to the artist, and the artist was so competent and so trained, such a workhorse, that they could break that work down into 22 pages at a penciler like Kirby and Ditko, and then send it back to Stan for Stan to put lettering in, send it to the letterer, send it back to Stan, have him look it over, send it to the inker, have the inker ink it, send it back to Stan for him to look over, send it to the colorist, colors it, sends it back to Stan for him to look over, in order to get to the printer on time, because back then the printer had stiff penalties to these companies if they did not hit that mark, and all of these marks had to be hit at a specific time. That's why when you go back and you read those old stories and you see the quality of that work, you just sit there in awe of some of these folks, especially like Kirby and Ditko and Colin and Romita, that they were so well trained for so long, always able to hit that mark. They had to sit at their board for hours every day in order to make a certain page rate, a certain page rate, just to make a living back during that period. No royalties, you only got paid by the productivity. And especially when you sit there and you think about the writers and you read some of these books like Brave and the Bold and Marvel Team Up is another good one where you had to tell a self-contained story using 2 characters. Everything had to get approved in both directions. You had to tell a complete story. It had to be a good story. Most of these stories are classics anyway now, you know, and you just stand there in awe that these workhorses were able to do what they did in the time that they did it.
Yeah, it's like now it's like, yeah, I mean, because it's like,
Hey, Randy.
Yeah, Rob, go ahead.
We unfortunately, one of our guests is having internet issues. We're going to push them to next week because we can't. They're for some reason they just can't connect. Right? I don't know if there's something going on with the internet.
Yeah, it might be StreamYard too.
People have been complaining about it. So, so
always.
We appreciate. We'll have them back on next week. No, that's not a problem. It happens. We've had many guests who have suffered, and we have brought them back the following week. But it seems that we're having issues with now 2 creators trying to get in here, and they just can't.
Yeah. Well,
something, right? Yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, I had to suffer through a Windows update this morning, so that might be part of the problem too.
I'm surprised that your computer is still working.
Every time I have to go through an update, I'm like going, please don't hurt my board. Don't hurt my board. Don't hurt my connectivity, because I know I work on a really ancient version of Photoshop. And
no, I do too.
Eventually, it's going to come back to haunt me.
Huh?
Yeah.
You know what we should do? Let's all summon the spirit of Meredith. If we all say Meredith, we can make.
She's probably tired of eating the Cheetos in the green room anyway.
Meredith. Let's see. Can we will her into the room? Can we get Meredith into the room? Is she going to come in?
See, you made her face red and everything. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia for Marvy.
John Celestri says StreamYard hates Safari anyway. So yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's like. Yeah.
Oh, like there's like a gang war between those two.
Glenn wants to point out anything worthwhile is worth spending time on. Keep going.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely, Meredith. I'm sorry, we're catching up on the chat here.
Yeah.
Comic Book Black Belt says 5 pages a day.
Oh, that was probably Kirby's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perez used to work 5 pages a day. If you can believe that, and some of the work he did was crazy detail. Those guys were machines. Yes, they were. Absolutely. Some of them still are.
Huh. I mean, especially with Kirby. Yeah, especially with Kirby. I remember being told that he felt like what he was doing was like akin to being a plumber. And and in the end, it's like, look, it was just work, and he was just, that was. I mean, what's funny? It's like I read about like the conditions that those men would work under, and it's like, wow, it's like I can't even sit for 2 hours without my back hurting. I mean, it's like, it's like I feel I'm weak. It's like,
Kirby used to do 2 issues a month plus a whatever covers that he'd get his hands on. You go back in the 70s and you see just about every comic title had at least 1 or 2 Kirby covers mixed in there. And that was because you need a cover for Nova. Okay, I can squeeze that in. I got 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when it really depended on how much work you could crank out, that it's like, you just got your hands on anything.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary about Jack Kirby. I'll share it on the group.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I saw it already 3 times. It's an amazing documentary. Yeah.
And just the level of creativity he had. Now, granted, he was doing comics since he was like 14 or 15, and had always been in the business. But man, when he hit that stride, and he did his Marvel work in his 40s or 50s, and he did his DC third or fourth world material in his 60s, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Just incredible body of work, really fast, and a lot of that is so imaginative. You just sit there in awe. I remember as a kid picking up New Gods 2 or 3 and with a full page splash of New Genesis, just going, wow, this is amazing.
It's like my close encounter with some Kirby artwork was, I think it was like a Florida show, a Miami show, I don't remember, but a dealer had this 2-page spread of Kirby artwork on it. And it's like, and I'm not a mainstream person, so it's like, but the thing is, though, it's like the artwork I only got to appreciate as I got older. You know, it's like at the time, you know, it's like when I was younger, it's like, oh, look, I'm not into that. It's like, but only when I'm older do I really appreciate it's like what these guys were doing. So I'm staring at this Kirby page, this Kirby splash page, and you know, just absolutely in awe of it because it's like, wow, it's like you really do not get a sense of the work even when it's printed. I mean, it's weird. It's like you really don't, you lose a lot. But I think that what surprised me the most of the thing that, I mean, to this day I regret not taking pictures of it because it was just so jaw-dropping. Was you're looking at these Kirby pages and all in the margins were really super passive aggressive editor's notes, all taking chunks out of the artwork. Like, what's with this hand? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? Like, it's not even like saying, oh, change this, change that. It was like, what's wrong with this hand? And it's like, and I'm looking at this and it's like, how catty do you have to be? It's like I kind of want to imagine Kirby was like going, there's nothing wrong with that hand. What about it? You know, it's like
that was probably during the New Gods run.
You know, so it's like, I don't remember what the but it's like that. It's like I was just like flabbergasted that it's like, wait a minute, this guy is an icon, and he had editors trying to like pull nonsense like that on him. I mean, you know, it was just amazing to see in person, like in front.
Well, if I remember correctly, he had a really rough time with the editors during the New God run, just for that reason. They went through a lot of the Jimmy Olsen books that he drew, for example, and had Kurt Swan redraw the Superman faces. Because Kirby drew them the way Kirby drew them, and they didn't look right. Yeah, so they had Kurt Swan go back over it.
Wow.
So and redraw it. Meredith, we don't mean to ignore you.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm listening in the background.
So were you up all night since last night's show, or did you at least get some sleep?
No, I actually didn't sleep. You know, I woke up earlier than normal because I don't wake up with an alarm clock. And my only goal, like the solid goal that I wanted to do was take a shower. And I did that. So I guess I'm done for the day.
There you go. You're good.
That's why I'm red. I'm like freshly scrubbed, you guys. That's why I'm bright red. You know.
Oh, we just thought you were embarrassed. I thought Rob embarrassed you for you come on.
I'm red all the time. I can't help it. Damn it.
Glenn says Kirby filled in on an Iron Man story when Gene Colan took ill 7 pages over the weekend.
Yeah. Yep. I couldn't imagine doing the closest I ever came to doing something crazy like that was when we were working at CPM, Central Park Media, back in the 90s. And we were working on the adaptation of La Blue Girl. So we were working with Matthew. Matthew was doing the pencils, and he decided to leave. Like, the book was due on Monday, and he decided that Friday was the best time to give me like 32 pages to ink. I was like, thanks. And I did whatever it took to get those 32 pages done in a weekend, just so we were able to hand them in on time. But of course, I told Matthew, never effing do that again.
I was given a book by a publisher who probably should remain nameless, even though they're no longer in existence, by an artist who also is ingrained in the back of my head memory as being a well-known anime influenced artist to ink and turn around in a week. And that was the last job I got to do for that company because I followed his pencils.
Right. Yeah, that's all you could do. That I was doing the same thing. And I grabbed all my and mind you, and I did this all in Sharpie too, because I just could not be bothered. And all in Sharpie, I followed his pencils exactly, and I just kept it moving until we had to hand it in. Yeah.
And I knew it was crap doing it. The pencils were crap when I got them. And I'm like, this guy's got a rep for being phenomenal, and apparently he leans on the inker to get it all done. And I'm not that guy. Not when I have to hit a deadline. Here we go, done.
Yeah,
sent it out.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
never,
mean, it's like,
never heard from that publisher again.
right, but in the end, it's it's like they do it to themselves. It's
Yeah.
like why are you giving me artwork the literal weekend before it's due?
Good, fast, or cheap. Pick two.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
That's the way it works.
Although JD says that he looked on that issue like recently and he goes, oh, it's actually not that bad. So it's like, okay.
Kirby was writing the stories, not Stan Lee. Stan Lee dialogued them. Yeah, that's why Kirby and Ditko ultimately left Marvel. Yep, and they weren't getting the credit that they deserved.
Yeah,
that's why they had completely different flavors too. It's because they were each artist was putting their own individual stamp on their work. The greats are usually never appreciated in their lifetimes, John Celestri says. Yeah, yep, it's very true, very true. But yeah,
that's why.
Dead air, Randy.
Go ahead. What? Dead air. Pregnant pause. Sorry, everybody. Everybody, if you're listening out there at Indie Vote Radio, we welcome you. Thanks for listening. We are the Breakfast Buzz here Thursday mornings. For us, it's morning. It's whatever time of day it is for you out there. It's for Marv in the house with Saint Killer. It's his afternoon. So
3 p.m. 3:17.
You're about to have lunch.
Yeah,
he's probably already had lunch. Yeah.
Yes, I have.
It's going to be dinner in about 2 or 3 hours. There we go.
Yeah.
Marv sent me some pictures from his. That's the area that you live, right? That you sent those albums of. Oh, just beautiful.
Yeah, thank
beautiful
you.
Place. Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm going to send you a recipe about a great soup. I took some pictures. My wife did a soup, a very traditional one. And I'm going to share that with you guys.
Well, my wife is half Mexican. So if you want some Mexican recipes, we do tamales once a year and they're like crack. Anybody that finds them just has to keep eating them. They keep asking for more.
Yeah, so I'm going to love it.
So anyway, another pregnant pause, Meredith.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have things going on.
I wanted to come on and thank you for letting me in. I actually wanted to shill IndieVent a little bit. We've got another one coming up in November.
Oh, I gotta get stuff done for that.
Horror themed. Horror. Crime, thriller, suspense, crime, noir,
Sharks and bikinis. No, just
sharks and bikinis. As long as they're eating people and wearing their skin, it's fine.
Oh boy.
There's an idea. So Ben, you're welcome. No,
Ben's not going to draw that shark in a bikini.
Oh no.
He's not into that.
Would those sharks wear the skin of humans, and come on land and anyway.
That sounds like a trauma film at that point.
Probably has been.
Yes.
So I am actually sending out invites to people. We have a few confirmations already. We're going to be squaring away the dates. This is going to be a Monday through Friday event in November. So it's November 9th through the 13th. It ends on Friday the 13th. So that it leaves the weekend open for you guys to do whatever it is that you want to do. Hopefully the world is a little bit open by then. Elections are going to be over. So maybe the dust has settled a little bit. At least maybe this will be a little bit of fun.
Depending on how that, on the results of that.
Yeah. I mean, the world's already on fire. So, I want to give positive thoughts to the people out on the West Coast. And
amen.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When you can see the fire from the satellite, there's a problem.
Yeah. So, so it's after that. I looked at the calendar. I said Friday the 13th was great. We're going to try and implement a cosplay costume portion into this. So I'm planning that right now. But it is open to comic books, movies, screen, screen, big screen, little screen, anything that's pretty much indie, because we love indie. And that's what it's about. So if you've got a show and you want to kind of tailor it around that theme, we're doing Monday through Friday, and it's kind of because of the theme. We're doing a little bit after dark, So I say in the afternoons. If you have an afternoon show that already exists, the way we've been doing it, if you've been paying attention to Indie Vent, is we take your show and we put it on a central playlist and we blast that out to our social media. And, we write follow-up articles about it so that you have a lot of opportunities across multiple platforms to not only get your podcast or your live stream seen and heard, but hopefully it's a networking opportunity. So if if there are people who are new to you connect with them if they're up your alley. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, I'm planning now. So if you're at all interested, make sure that you send me an email, Meredith, MEREDITH @geekinsider.com.
I mean, how committed? Now, when you say that the theme is horror, and because it's Halloween, I get it. It's, but like, how committed? Like, I'm just kind of wondering, like I have Tall Tales, like.
Yep.
How would I fit that into the theme, or does it matter, or is it just like?
I don't think it really matters. I mean, the overall theme is going to be, but if you think Halloween, it's not horror. It's not all horror. You know, I mean, it could be dolls, it could be furries.
Right.
And the thing is also because it's kind of like after dark, it's after hours, more adult themes and things like that. So those are definitely invited.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to have a panel of underground artists and comic book makers.
Right.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. Because I don't think you guys get enough promotion or opportunity to talk about your books or that art.
Now, do you have anything like Halloween over there in Portugal, Marv?
Yes, more in the big cities. The kids are, the teens and the kids are doing more stuff around Halloween, but the older ones, no. But the kids will go to clubs and pubs, and there's a little bit of an enthusiast environment for the last couple of years. Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's another opportunity to, I don't know, get dressed up and get your freak on. It doesn't have to be a Halloween.
Especially with conventions out the window. Have you? I remember I was reading recently that people are literally expecting conventions to not return normally until 2022.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
I mean, that's what that's kind of like the whispers that I'm hearing, and it's like it's just
no one knows anything.
Right.
We didn't know how long this was going to last. We didn't know what it was going to look like. It's just a bunch of people talking. Nothing wrong with it. Take that. On this show, we don't really like doing rumors as much.
Right.
We all admit.
Well, just like everything that's been happening all this year, is that convention going to go on? We don't know.
No,
we just don't know. We don't know what the situation's going to be 3 months from now. We don't know what there could be a vaccine come through and that within the next month and everything's back to normal, or not. Right now they just stopped an Oxford study that was supposed to be done by the end of September. So because one of the human trial subjects came down really sick or died, one of the other. It was bad enough for them to stop human testing.
Right. Yeah.
So,
that's scary.
It is. But when you're trying to develop a vaccine like this, you're going to have hits and misses.
And, especially when you're trying to develop it in record time.
And 3/4 of this, especially with the science, they've been literally walking in the dark and feeling their way along and trying to get along. So Glenn says when the dust is settled, good luck with that, Meredith.
Yeah, well, we can hope.
Let's try to be a little more positive, Glenn.
You know what? I've my blood type is B positive. All right, I can't help it.
Oh,
there you go.
Seriously,
be positive.
That's
a member of New Warriors. Anyway,
but it's true.
No, the member of New Warriors is B negative.
Oh, is it B negative?
B negative.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So Meredith is the anti-cure to B negative. That is the arch enemy of B negative, right there.
Be the kid of Mobius or something.
It is me. Yeah.
She throws sunshine on you. Right. She's the sunshine kid.
There we go. Another great name. Let's copyright that one too.
Don't get on my bad side, okay? Because I do write fiction and I love bloodletting.
And the sun will burn your ass, so be careful.
If SpongeBob can have a whale, Mr. Krabs' daughter with boobs, a shark with boobs, it's not that far-fetched, just saying. And we're kind of staying up with the chat, too, and we're still talking about sharks with boobs. It's all good.
Hey, you know, and Daphne was mentioning something about sharks with boobs, but, you know, I mean, it could have like a furry bikini or something like that.
That's there are people, you know, more dedicated than me who put a lot of thought into that. So.
Back on the old days, the good old days, no one throws better punches than Gil Kane or Sal Buscema. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
I was thinking about Sal yesterday and his run on Defenders. That's just, for me, that's classic stuff. Just amazing. Ralph also says no trick or treating in Cali this year.
Yeah.
No. Even with it, we hope the best for them. Mm-hmm. So once a reliable vaccine is out there, things will get back to normal. Ralph says.
Hopefully. I mean, I do hope that there's certain things that are happening nowadays that I hope still stays a thing even after the vaccine. Like really, I really do hope most of you continue washing your hands. Really. Something to start with. Yeah. You washing your hands.
I'm not afraid of social distance either, but wearing the mask out all the time, that's a little, you know, I question that a lot.
Here in Portugal, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark.
Here in Portugal, we have it's tradition to kiss everybody. Younger,
exactly.
We kiss everybody, and now it's a little bit weird because we love to have that contact with. We like to touch people. We like to hug everybody and kiss everybody. And now it's very, very difficult not to do that. And for me, especially, it's very hard not to touch somebody. Hey, how are you? A hug and whatever. And now it's very, very, very hard to change that behavior.
The air kisses, then it's like, mwah.
I give up. I give out free hugs and spanks. This is what's going to happen. I put on my future hat. Rob knows the future. A vaccine will come out next spring, just in time for herd immunity to take over, and we no longer have the pandemic. Remember, guys, this is just a flu. I know it's worse than a flu, but it's in the flu family. We always get a herd mentality. That's why every year the flu is altering. But we have to worry about what's next in a couple of years. These super bugs are starting to get problematic. So maybe we need to worry about why we're causing them. What are we doing that is causing these super bugs to suddenly be popping up more than ever before?
You know, I tell you what, our research should be going. I grew up playing outside in the dirt. I drank from the hose bib. I ate Elmer's glue because it tasted minty. Okay. Whenever I get a flu vaccine, I get the flu and I'm out for like 3 weeks. So I don't do it. And if something else like that was to come out, but I mean, essentially I know my body and, you know, so I have an immunity to a lot of things. Now my kids, I let them do the same thing. I know parents, you know, the parents whose kids were in the same grades as mine. They like sanitized everything. They didn't let them play. I was just like, all right, you're on the Walmart floor. Try not to lick anything.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Then if you did, it's like, all right, you just go home and brush your teeth later. It was just one of those things.
Yeah, with Jax, until he was about 2, I tried to protect him. Until one day I just came home and he was like covered. And like, just I don't even know what it was completely. He'd gotten into so much stuff. The next day he survived, and I'm like, fucking
I mean, there's a lot of research that leads to that. That it's like the more we try to sanitize, actually, the more vulnerable we become. You know. But look, I'm the type that it's like, nah. Every year, the second the flu shot becomes available, I got it. You know.
Yeah. See,
I'm the type that.
I've done it twice. And both times I was out for about 3 weeks, and I said, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "How is everybody not sick?" So I think it's a matter of knowing yourself too.
I can sit around, get tattooed for hours, not care. You try to put a shot in me, and there's just a viral response.
Yeah, no, for real. That's the
Get that needle away.
I'm not a vaccine person, but I am a boost your immune system as much as you can and keep it up there.
That's always good too. Yeah, that's always good too. Because it's like they say that I read that even if they get a vaccine, it's probably going to take about 1.5 years to get, for it to be distributed enough. So, normal is relative.
No. That's not. Wait a minute. I got a video clip for that.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
The Oxford vaccine, they had 300 million doses ready to go.
Okay.
If the thing had gotten approved, and it looked like it was steamrolling there for a while at a 75% success rate, and they consider a vaccine successful if there's a 50% success rate. They were ready to have vaccine stations set up within 3 days.
Right. And
ready to go. And everybody would be vaccinated within a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Set up lines, and all your local drugstores would have them just like your usual flu shots.
Which is exactly where I got mine. It's like the second it got available, boom.
And just because it's on pause doesn't mean they won't restart the test. You got
that's true.
The trial. They might just be taking a pause to see, doing an autopsy. And if she has any underlying conditions they didn't know about, I guarantee you that test the whole thing restarts the next day.
Yeah,
which is very likely.
It's just a whole process that it has to go through.
I wanted to mention, I think it was, I was listening to Christian Basil's show, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And I think it was Melanie, his co-host, who mentioned that they were at a convention and they actually had these different color armbands. Randy, were you listening?
No, I wasn't listening.
So the different color armbands basically was your social distance comfort zone. Red meant don't touch.
I've seen those. I've seen those. Yeah.
You're 6 feet away, don't touch, and all that, and then you have your yellow where it was just like, you kind of go, hey, is it okay? And then your green was just like, come on in,
Right.
Sure.
I'm okay with that.
Right.
And so that visual marker, I think, why aren't more people doing that? I think it's such a good idea. And why not open up these conventions? Because if you think about some of the tables, I know that it cuts down the amount of vendors that you can get in there. Mm-hmm. But if you have, kind of like a flea market, you have a 10 by 10 tent, that's your social distancing there.
I would love that. I would love that. Yeah.
I just don't understand why we're not pivoting a little bit faster with these ideas. Flea markets exist. They already do it.
Well, right now you can't, because a lot of the governors are dictating, whether or not you can even have conventions, a lot of the state governors. And for our radio listening audience out there, we just want to let you know we do appreciate you, and that smoke detector that you are here, not yours.
Yeah,
it's Daphne's bird.
Yes.
And I will say this. I go to parties where people wear bands, and then it tells you what you can do with them and not do it. Oh, wait, that's a whole different show. That's a geek ass. Never mind.
Same idea, Rob. We love it.
It's the same. Yeah, it's all related.
Daphne knows the parties I'm talking about.
I know exactly what parties you're talking about.
Ben Lacey asks fur underwear, and he says maybe sealskin bikini.
Oh, those are all the cave woman comic books.
Elbow bumps instead of handshakes and working from home. Yep.
Ooh, the shark has a human skin bikini.
Yes.
There we go. Jen, I know you sent a question in about the 2020 con. We'll talk about that here in a second. Joe McPhee says, Ben Lacey, I'm not sure if you are familiar with the cartoon Transer Z, but the shark with boobs thing could be a double meaning, like the Aphrodite A robot, where the boobs was really missiles that it fires. Just a thought.
Oh, boy.
And dolphin skulls as a bra.
Ben Lacey, he does strap on missiles on his sharks.
Yeah, we've seen that on other movies too, but anyway.
I'm misbehaving.
But Ben explained it. Ben has science on his side.
Science,
he has science on his side. Yes, he does, which I think is really cool.
Jen loves my clip. Thank you very much, Jen. Ralph comes in and says, everyone has an expiration date. You might be able to play some of the percentages, but it is what it is. So don't dream it, be it. Create as much as you can.
Exactly.
Love it.
Exactly.
That's so very, very true. Jen keeps asking, you may have already talked about it, but what did you guys think of the online con in Cali? I know we don't want to wait for 2022 for Comic Cons. Everybody's doing a virtual con or has done like a weekend event. We're even planning on hopefully going to do that something here with Indie Volt one of these months, just because the bandwidth is getting higher and Varian's wallet is getting thinner, or actually Indie Volt's wallet is getting thinner. And we're right now not really dreading, but we're looking forward to that 100,000 listener number on Indie Volt Radio, where Varian gets slapped with the next level of bandwidth bill.
Wow, it's like that's kind of weird how it's like, oh, you actually dread being successful.
No, we call that a happy problem. We're kind of looking forward to it, but but Varian is kind of dreading that just a little bit. So we're talking about having some sort of potathon in order to help him afford that.
And I want to shout out to the Indie Vault listeners. Please go over to the YouTube channel. It's if you go to youtube.com/C/indie _Volt VOLT and hit the subscribe button. You know, they can start monetizing the channel as soon as they hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
And it's going to be 4,000 watch hours, which I don't think is a problem with the amount of shows that we have.
I'm almost positive it's not already.
Yeah, but we need to get to 1,000 subscribers over at Indie Volt. So please, if you're listening, head over there and hit the subscribe button. Help us out, because once that's monetized, it eases the wallet a little bit.
I mean,
even
advertising
dollars come into it.
Absolutely.
Even without the watch hours, as long as you hit 1,000, at least you can do super chats.
Yes.
So at least that you can start there. But I don't think Indie Volt has a problem with the view time though.
And then we won't have to be like your local PBS station where we're taking specific programming going, if you like this programming, please donate to our cause.
Right.
So all of us do this for free anyway. We're all doing it for free and promotion for the work that we do.
Right. Yeah. So we're hoping it balances out later.
Wait, we're not getting paid?
that and it's fun to get together. No, Rob, you're not getting paid.
Down, Rob, down.
Did we mention that? That's right. He's gone now. Ralph says he did a flea market here in Michigan and the place was packed. People are dying, bad pun, to get out and interact with others. I can attest to that. We escaped for a couple of days and went up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is supposed to be desolate. But every natural attraction up there had lined. There were crowds. People just wanted to get away. And they all had the same thought that we did. Well, we'll go up to and look at pictured rocks because nobody's up there. No, there was a long waiting list just to get on the boat. And it was absolutely insane. A lot bigger crowd than what we were ever expecting. So, yeah, people want to get out there. They want to have fun. They want to get back to normalcy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, also it's like it is, even the most even the most introverted people. I mean, it's like we still need some kind of social interaction, some physical interaction, not just I mean, it's a drag,
Yeah. But it is fun doing this and talking to folks all around the world from the safety of your basement. So it's all good, or your attic, or your studio room.
Yeah.
And anything else? Rob, anything else going on? I see Varian's not in the house. Meredith, do you have access to the numbers?
I do not.
You do not. Okay, no problem. We want to thank everybody listening on Indie Volt Radio at indievolt.com. We appreciate you all.
Let's talk about how easy it is to be a guest on here. You literally just need promotion. You just ask. Come to us, me or Meredith. or even Randy or Varen, they'll send it to me and Meredith. Me and Meredith are coordinating between Gig Insider, Comic Book Advocates, and Indie Volt to make sure that we're getting as many unique guests on here. Because like we said earlier, we want to put sunshine on people. There's enough shade throwers out there. We want to be the light that guides the way for creators to get what they need as far as promotion. What they do with that is up to them, but you have to make the effort. We're not coming to you. We're not begging you to be on the show. I've literally had people be like, well, what do I get out of it? And I just stop answering you at that point.
Absolutely.
If you don't understand the power of promotion, I can't help you. Now, I know a few people out there feel like, well, I'm worried about the questions that we're going to ask. This is not a show where we know the questions we're going to ask. I didn't know what we were going to talk about today. Me and Randy showed up. We were like, hey, ready? Let's do it. And that was it. That was the game plan. That's what
trust me. Nobody here expected to have it's like to be asked. So, what do you know about shark boobs? So it's like, depends on what questions you're worried about.
Even Dan wasn't prepared to and he does a book about a shark.
And we love that.
And we love it. Yes.
The uniqueness of these programming. So you guys are welcome. We only ask that you be civil and you be open to other people. You know, you don't have to get along with everyone in the world. We all got to stop trying to kneecap each other so we can get ahead. No one gets ahead by kneecapping people. Right. Be supportive of each other. If you see someone making a mistake, keep it to yourself if you're not asked. You know, you don't have to always go out there and solve someone's problem, especially if they're not really your friend. And if they are your friend, do it through a messenger. Don't try to become popular with it. Support each other. Go out there and be the light that people need right now, especially in these times. We've seen a lot of ugly, but I don't believe people are ugly. I think they're just responding to a bad point. If they see more love, they'll act more loving.
And especially right now when everybody out there has a level of frustration that they're having to deal with. And we hope that they can deal with that also. And also with this program, besides promotion, we really want to be educational as well as entertaining. So if you have a question, a problem, a situation, even a statement, a comment, or a suggestion, you're more than welcome to write us, to contact us. We are always at indievolt.com or indievolt. Excuse me, that was the wrong card. Please address it to indievolt live at indievolt.com. We're here for your questions, your comments. Please include IndieVolt Live in your subject line so that we know that it's for the show. And please keep those emails to 90 words or less so that we can sometimes type them up on a card and address them face to face. So we appreciate your input. We always appreciate your input. And we appreciate the guests coming in spur of the moment. Daphne didn't have plans on being here today. Marv has the day off from work and he's he's in his living room. We're happy to have him here. So in his afternoon.
I want to say thank you for having me here, and thank you Meredith for Indie Vent and Randy and Variant and all the guys from the Indie Volt family, because I was in a bad spot a few months ago when you helped me a lot, just to pushing me and supporting me. So I want to say thank you.
And again, that's another example of how you never know how these podcasts are going to go, who you're going to touch, who you're going to push. So when you're out there in the open and on social media, especially, that's why I don't Twitter very often, because Twitter seems to be a hotbed of negativity. You should always try to be positive and encouraging and try to help your creators. We're all in this together because, believe it or not, the more visibility your neighbor gets or your fellow creator gets, the more the industry gets, the more everybody gets.
Yeah.
So, and all of the negativity that can fly around does nothing productive. Hating ain't creating.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
That's true.
It's like we're not competition. That's the thing. I mean, I think that all our work is so diverse and all over the place and so different that it's like, we're not competing with each other.
That's part of the fun of independent and alternative comics, is that it's personal. You can do it yourself. That's why it takes so long to do, like we were talking earlier.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of this work comes from our heart. So not all of it is out there to see or to try to get the next Netflix deal or
right. Yeah. It's like, look, it's like we're just, most of us are just doing this just to have fun, because it's like we love what we do. We have a story to tell, and we're doing it for ourselves. But it'd be nice if you guys liked it too. That's.
And for God's sake, make comic books with fans in mind, not profits in mind.
No,
when you're worried about your profits, it seeps through and it makes our industry look like just greedy people.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to make 1,000 alternate covers because I know I can make money off of that.
Right.
You're making us all look bad. When you're trying to take advantage of anyone, you're making us look bad. Remember, don't take advantage of the fans. They're who we want back.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who are supporting us. Treat them like
JD's up.
Yeah, he's been up for a little bit. JD says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, JD.
Good morning.
Marketing 101.
Make his own coffee this morning.
I was going to say marketing 101 is people connect with people, not things.
Yeah.
If you've got a good story, people will connect with it. You might not expect the audience that you get, but you are staying true to your characters and true to your art. Mm-hmm. People will connect to that. They will connect to your passion. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've bought a book, not because I wanted the book. I didn't want the book at all, but I wanted to support the artist.
Right.
And I will continue to do that because I love advocating for people. And if they're putting out things, I want to see that journey. I want to see where they started. If it was your first comic book and it wasn't all that good, but you're a good person, I'm going to follow you. And I want to see the progress because I don't want to be the jerk who goes out there and says, oh, this is terrible, and kill your dreams. I want to see progression. And if it's going from a hobby and your goal is to be, make that a career, absolutely, I want to see that. But the passion's got to be there. People connect to people.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole, well, it's like Randy says, if you're hating, you're not creating. And it's like a person who's going out of their way to try to make you sink because they're not doing anything. It's like the people who seem to be the loudest at this, it's like, they only have time to do that because they're not doing anything. And they hate the fact that you are. So, I know sometimes it feels like that maybe we're creating for an audience of one, but you know what? That one matters.
and sometimes, we are. So when we're doing alternative books, a lot of times if it's coming from the heart, we're getting our own personal voice out.
Right, So it's like, and you have to decide, if that's important to you.
We just hope there's enough people out there that feel the same way we do to, follow along. Mm-hmm. Glenn says, great show. Glenn says, I'd like to see some Sin Killer artwork.
Thanks. Right now.
Go for it.
You don't have to. You don't have to, Marv. You don't want to. You are welcome to if you want. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I just have. I'm preparing everything because I don't have a computer and my tablet died too. So I'm putting everything on the suitcase to go to digitalize my stuff. So
how about if we put this up?
All right.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Well,
to be
perfect.
See, I want the Sin Killer. I want that logo on a T-shirt. I would totally.
Marv,
thanks.
did you want to show something? I'll blow you up full screen.
It's just what I've been working this morning and yesterday. This is Gabriel and his flock.
Look at that.
Tearing apart this guy Saul, and this is the graveyard where John, the Sin Killer, lives. So it's I've been working this for this morning, and I have one more panel to do, and then the cover because JD said that it will be better for the anthology to have a cover, so I'll do it too.
Yeah, because at worst, because it's like it's like, so it's always good to have a cover, but at worst you have a promo piece. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to end up as a cover. It's like, so at least you have something to show around and give people a really quick idea, as to what you're up to and what your book is about.
Comic Book Black Belt says, got any spaces next week? Would love to come on again. Comic Book Black Belt, do get a hold of Rob.
Actually, we can have him on Thursday with his time zone. If he's available Thursday, just reach out to me, Russ, and I'll let you know.
My frustration is I want to be on the show. Glenn, yes, absolutely. Get a hold of Rob. Get a hold of Varian.
Party.
October, I believe. Absolutely. Good. Glenn, I look forward to talking with you face to face. Randy, do you think Diamond will become more open to indies now that they lost DC? I think it's a possibility. Again, with Diamond, I'm very much a show me person. Let's see the attitude change before you believe the attitude change. Right now, I think they're too busy trying to chase their tail to do much of anything. Plus, I've watched, and this is my personal opinion, and we didn't throw those banners up this morning to let people know, to reassure folks that the opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of IndieVolt LLC or its other hosts or sponsors. But JD, in my opinion, I've watched Diamond become the big dog in the industry, to be the big push in the industry, to be the big gatekeeper in the industry, and to literally erode this industry from 9,000 down to like 1,200 clients at present, and they don't seem to be wanting to do any more business. So I question whether or not they are going to be more welcoming to indies, but I definitely welcome the thought that they would be, and hope that they do, because the green section has been gate kept really hard for way too long. There was a lot of great product out there that has been flushed on the part of Diamond from going out there and getting a national, or having a chance at getting a national reach. And it's long past due that they relax those standards a little bit and get a better eye for quality and get out there. Some books have gotten through that should have never gotten through because they're buddies, and other books don't get through because they didn't like the somebody didn't like a conversation they had 5 years ago or whatever, and the book is of professional quality. And that drives me crazy, because the market should be the deciding factor, not a few retailers that decide whether or not your book's marketable enough to go into a previews book. That just turns my stomach, and always has. Glenn says, wow. Says Kirby Crackle, absolutely. Oh, he's talking about your work.
Yeah.
Marv,
Big
absolutely.
inspiration, Kirby. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you.
Comic Book Black Belt says okay. All right. JD probably just wanted to see an early morning rant. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Randy about Diamond. That'll stir him up. Yeah.
Well, no, he's percolating something, but
normally Varian does that too. But there's a lot of opportunities coming out from a lot of different places. Very much now, not just because of the pandemic, but because of the other situations that, like crowdfunding, and that the comic market is opening up, especially with social media and podcasting like this. We get to meet great artists like Marv that we would probably have never met in normal, just because there's so much distance between us. We're never going to bump at a convention, unless it's intentional. We fly international, one or the other, and which now I guess can't really happen much, but until the situation gets straightened out. Yeah, we can't even go into Canada. We're right now. I'm in Michigan. We're an hour away from Canada in almost any direction except west.
Well, it's like I can't even go to Florida without having to self-quarantine. Coming back, without quarantining for 2 weeks. So it's like I can't even do that.
But here on the show, we had a guest scheduled today from Africa. Last Thursday, we had a gentleman on from Nigeria who has a just phenomenal site with great books, all just amazing looking. I don't think there was a bad book in his list at all. We'll have him back on again. A lot of the stuff he had was super, just incredible stuff. And we're meeting, and our family, I said in parentheses, is growing all of the time, because we're out there looking for new guests, new opportunities, and new people to not just promote, but to also talk to, because everybody's got, especially with alternative and independent comics, everybody's got their own personal vision, and you're seeing a huge variety open up right now. It's not all superheroes, it's not all tights, and the same thing over and over again, or the same amount of angst, or here in America, we've seen things run in fads. We saw the circle template era, where all of the women and most of the men were unbelievable, exaggerated features. We've seen blood eras. run through. We've had the Comic Code Authority come through in the 50s, where everything had to get written down to a 12-year-old grade level, or 12-year-old level. That has since eroded and gone away, because the art form is always going to survive. And it's never a better time than now to be in this art form and be able to say what you want to say. You don't have to work for a large company. You don't have to. All you have to do is work out of your basement and have a product done, build up a dependability for that product. And guess what? Suddenly you're making a living. So that's an awesome thing to do. JD is encouraging me to rant. Yes, rant. JD, you're welcome on here if you want. Well, probably not now, because we're about to go.
Yeah.
So let's do the rounds. Marv, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, and I have a small YouTube channel, Marv Artwork, and on Facebook I'm Marv Vasconcelos. It's a little bit confusing, but and on Instagram, Marv Artwork too.
But you have that Sin Killer logo as your main profile picture.
Yes.
So if you type Marv in and start looking, you're going to find it. So
yes, that's true. Thank you.
He's available on Facebook. So also, and I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot more from Marv very soon, and in the future. Absolutely. And thanks so much for being on, Marv. Really appreciate you being on. I do.
I appreciate to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Very welcome. Daphne, where can they find you?
Well, if you're into more standard funny animal fare and not shark boobs, you can check out the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free at talltalesonline.com, spelled TAILS online.com. And I also have a YouTube channel featuring art tutorials, demos, and some live streams at Daphne Lage Art.
Daphne Lage Art?
Yes,
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
And now that we've mentioned shark boobs, there may be some in your future.
Most likely.
It's artistic wheels are churning.
Yeah, yes. No, it's always.
Meredith Indie Event. Where can we find you?
Actually, if you do a Google search for hashtag INDEEVENT Indie you are going to find a whole bunch of content from our previous events, as well as the website. And, my contact information is in there. So I'm just going to keep it simple because I love the KISS theory. Do a search for Indie Vent, and you will find me too.
I thought you were going to start talking about your love of Gene Simmons.
Yeah, really.
Keep it simple, stupid. Come on.
We all do. Well, most of us. Rob, where can they find you?
They can find me next on the news at 11 and this weekend at Saturday at 9 p.m. here with the Devil's Advocates falling in line with the industry standards as we spend the next 2 months talking about industry standards. We're starting off with, is 16 pages a comic book or a flyer? How important are page counts? 9 p.m. this Saturday. The doors are open for everyone. Come or hold your tongue.
There we go. Also, on the Indie Volt channel, you will find us again Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., where we have the Indie Volt podcast. Also on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. These are all Eastern Standard Time, so please adjust your alarm clocks accordingly. Is the Geekgasm, that's geekery from as much a female perspective as we can get on the air. Had a great show last night. Please check that out. That's also available on the Indie Volt YouTube channel, the back episodes of that. Of course, we have the Breakfast Buzz here at on Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Rob's show is on Saturdays. There's something going on occasionally on Fridays, right? Freaky Fridays.
We're doing Friday pilots for now. We're trying to figure out how we're going to get programming. So we want a show every night at 9 p.m. And right now, that's what we have. Every night at 9 p.m., you can come to Indie Volt on YouTube or the radio, and you'll hear us doing something online live.
And Mondays are what then?
Mondays are Geek Speak.
Yeah,
Geek Speak.
Tuesdays, Indie Volt Live. Wednesdays, Geekgasm. Thursdays, Geek Speak again. Fridays are our pilot season for now. We'll pick shows that fit there. The Devil's Advocate Saturday, and Sunday, it's Geeky and Cheeky.
Geeky and cheeky and downright freaky at times. Yes. So it's kind of the X-Files show bent on the comics medium. So feel free to tune in on that. Also, Sunday mornings, I run a show called the Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the more lighthearted and whimsical side of comics, all sorts of different comics that aren't dark and dreary and overly realistic. So sorry, Marv, but we do. We do talk about. I didn't mean to say your book was dreary. I'm looking forward to reading it. It sounds awesome.
Marv is my people.
Yeah.
I like the dark and dreary.
Oh, there we go. Well, we cover everything from silly, funny animal books to underground books to even some Jerry Lewis and eventually Archie Grumble. Maybe something even as obscure as that Wilkins Boy or Millie the Model. You never know what's going to come up on Saturday morning. So, and in heading out, we want to point out again that we are available on indievolt.com. Listen live on the radio. When we're not doing podcasts like this, you're hearing some great alternative and independent music. And we welcome everybody to stay tuned to that. You can get a hold of that through the Google. You can get an app from Google Play. You can get an app, I believe, through Streama. If you ask Alexa nicely, she'll turn on Indie Volt radio for you. All you have to do is ask her. So we also have a Roku channel where we have wrestling and independent movies of all kinds, shapes, and sizes. And we also run podcasts such as this on there as well and have streaming capabilities for that too. Don't forget that we always welcome your suggestions and comments. IndieVolt Live at indievolt.com. Please include IndieVolt Live in the subject matter. Please keep emails to 90 words or less. No topic is too crazy. No topic is too serious. And remember, our feedback will be better because of your setback. Hashtag get an education. Hashtag IndieVolt. Again, I want to thank everybody that has been on the show. Dan, especially Shark of War, available at Kickstarter. Make sure you look that up. Make sure you check out Daphne's coloring book and look forward to the Sin Killer. Right? No. Talltales.com.
Talltalesonline.com. The link to the link to the Kickstarter is there. And and I kind of regret not having a level with crayons.
And I totally had House of Bob in my head. So.
And you can find me here on Indie Volt on Facebook. I Twitter sometimes, so I don't do it very often. I Twitter under Randy Zim. You can find me at the Zim Geek channel here on YouTube as well. It's time for us to run. Actually, it's a little late, and we appreciate everybody listening. Thanks again to our radio listeners. We love and appreciate all of you.
Tune in to Rob next.
See you soon. Rob is up next with the news. And take care, everybody. We are out. Stay healthy, everyone. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone out there in California. And anyone going through troubling times right now, rest assured, it will get easier as you go along. And we wish you only the best. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
And that was the wrong one. I almost ran the opening again. Here we go.